HL fam, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to another very special video. So before we get into today's video, if you are new to our channel, I'm Lon and I am currently carrying my husband and I's first child. We are expecting our first child this February, and so we would love for you guys to subscribe to our channel. It's right below this video. It's free and it is easy, so that way you guys can stay up to date with all of our most exciting videos that are going on right now, all the way up until baby is born. So we are just so excited to have you. And to all of our OG HL family members, thank you guys so much for coming back to watch another video. So today, as you can see from the title, I'm going to be doing my first trimester updates. I am currently 15 weeks and 1 day. So I tried to film this video last week, right when I turned into my 14th week, but I went to go edit the footage and everything was blurry, so that was a bummer. So this is actually my second time recording this video for you guys, but yes, I went ahead and I have been writing down every single thing that I have been going through since first finding out that I was pregnant. So if you want to see everything that I've been experiencing in my first trimester, then just keep on watching. All right, so I found out that I was pregnant at about 4 weeks, and during my 4th week, my breasts were super tender. That's one of the things that kind of gave it away that, you know, that I was pregnant, or why I was thinking that I was pregnant a bit, because my boobs were so tender. Like, I know my boobs get tender a little bit during that time of the month, but this time it was like I needed like a shield or like a bra on at all times so that they would just kind of just stay in place and not like rub up against my clothes. Oh my goodness, especially when I had on pajamas, it was the worst. So that's one of the first symptoms that I had that kind of had me thinking that I was pregnant. And then also one of the things that I noticed in the 4th week is that my appetite was like really small, really fast. So I was not able to eat the size portions that I was used to eating. It seems like after a few bites, I was already full. So I don't know if that had to do anything. Like, I know like with your body, when you're pregnant, things start to move around and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe I just had I don't know, a smaller appetite. But yeah, that was one of the things that I noticed. And then also I had a really instant discomfort with jeans. So anything that was like pressing against my stomach made me so uncomfortable. Even though I didn't have like a baby bump or anything like that, the pressure that was on my stomach, I just couldn't deal with it. So I wasn't able to really like zipping up my jeans, especially not like high-waisted jeans or anything like that. So when I would go to work, I would have my jeans unzipping and I would have on like a big shirt, so nobody could really tell that my jeans were unzipping just by looking at me. But it just relieved so much pressure from my stomach and I was so happy. Another thing that happened in the 4th week is I was tossing and turning all night. Like, after finding out I was pregnant in that 1st week, I got 0 sleep, okay? I guess I was just like up, I was anxious, I was thinking about like our future, I was thinking about like my future child. It was just a lot to think about, and all of those like emotions and thoughts kind of overwhelm you in that beginning stage when you first find out that you were pregnant, or at least that's what happened with me. So I didn't get much sleep in week 4. Moving on to week 5, I didn't have that many updates. I only had one update, and it says naps every day. Yes. So when you're pregnant, you are just so tired. It's like I would need a nap before and after anything that I did. So for example, if I needed to run to Target, then after I came back from Target, I would need to take a nap. Coming back from church, I need a nap. Before going to church, before going to Target, I need a nap. I don't know, sleep was just everything to me in that 5th week, and it just seemed like I was never getting enough rest. Like, I wouldn't wake up tired, but I could always go for another nap. So I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully it does. But basically, I just never got tired of naps, and I could take naps anytime. All right, so week 6, oh my goodness. Week 6 was the toughest week of pregnancy. So week 6 is when we were in Italy. And I remember my doctor telling me the week before in our first like prenatal appointment that if I hadn't gotten morning sickness already, then I might not get it, just because we were going into the 6th week and I still hadn't had it. I think she jinxed me, because it seems like as soon as we got settled in Italy, that morning sickness started. And who calls it, why do they call it morning sickness anyway? It is not sickness that takes place in the morning, at least not for me. Morning sickness is all day long. There is no time frame on it. So when we were in Italy, I just felt so bad. It was like the nausea. So just walking around, like imagine being in Italy, it's hot, it's beautiful, but then you feel so nauseous. So like trying to walk around and be a tourist and sightsee and enjoy myself, but really I feel like I'm gonna throw up at every single moment. Every single smell just like triggered it, and it never really went away. So I just really felt bad, because it's like I was like being slow and sluggish, and it's like I didn't want to hold Henry back, because of course we were in like this amazing place, but it really sucked. It really sucked. And leaving Italy, I was like so excited. I wasn't we weren't in our own beds, we weren't just in the comfort of our own home. We didn't have that comfort food. So I just felt horrible that entire trip. So my morning sickness, it just started out with just the nausea, and that was in week 6. And I feel really bad, because now when I think about Italy, it still makes me a little bit nauseous. But I also have just like I don't know, like a sour taste in my mouth about Italy, because I just didn't have a good time at all. And it really sucks, you know, that morning sickness like put a damper on a trip like that. But another thing that I noticed is in week 6 was the constant ping in the middle of the night. That's when that started as well. So it's like 2 things are hitting me back to back. I've never been pregnant before. I'm not used to this. So like the nausea, and then waking up. I think I might have been waking up 1 to 2 times in the middle of the night to use the restroom. So it's just taking a toll on me. Yeah, it just wasn't a good time, guys. Moving on to week 7. So in week 7, the nausea continued. Like we never got rid of like the morning sickness. But one of the newer things that I experienced in week 7 was food aversion. So not being pregnant before and just hearing everybody's stories about food aversions, I'm just like, how do you get a food aversion to food that you've already eaten, to food that you've loved all your life? But it is real and it is true. So basically my food aversions, it wasn't necessarily to a specific food, but in general, I had food aversions to hot foods. So especially in the morning, like when my morning sickness was the worst, I did not want to cook any like smelly hot foods. And if you guys know me, then you know that I love a hot breakfast. I prefer a hot breakfast like eggs, bacon, pancakes, waffles, stuff like that, over a cold breakfast any day. I just feel like it makes my morning a little bit better. So I was not cooking. I was really barely even cooking dinner, because it was just like the smell of the foods, and then just like touching and preparing raw meat and stuff like that. It just wasn't my thing. So we were ordering out a lot during this time, and to kind of compensate for the hot food aversions that I had, especially my breakfast, I was eating a lot of cold foods like Frosted Flakes, and I relied a lot on fruit. But then it sucked, because like 2 hours later I was hungry again. So moving on to week 8, I have in my notes that morning sickness subsided. Currently, I know that to be untrue, but there really wasn't anything going on in week 8. I just thought that my morning sickness was getting a little bit better. Moving right on into week number 9. Week 9, I threw up. Like the morning that I turned week 9, I threw up for the very first time. So that was the first time that my morning sickness wasn't just nausea, but I'm actually vomiting as well. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I thought I was like seeing the end of this, and then I wake up on week 9 and I'm throwing up. It was just, oh my gosh, guys, I can't even explain morning sickness other than it is so incredibly draining. So especially when you get to the vomiting part, because like it just drains you. It's like you don't want to eat certain things, you don't know what to eat because you're scared you're going to throw it up. It hurts, of course, when you're throwing up. It's not fun. My eyes are watering and stuff like that. It just gets sick. Like, you get sick of it. So I just, morning sickness, as you guys can see, was a really big part of my first trimester, and it kicked my butt. So moving on to week 10. Week 10 was pretty exciting. Still had the morning sickness, but one of the things that I like noticed physically on my body was the linea nigra. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So the linea nigra is that dark line that appears on a pregnant woman's stomach, and it continues to get darker and darker throughout your pregnancy. So that's when I first saw that. So I think as women, we always had it below, but it's just like really faint. But mine is like from the bottom all the way like on the top of my belly button, and it was like noticeable that one time when I went to the restroom. And so I showed Henry, and that it was just nice to see, I don't know, like something physical outside of the morning sickness that symbolized like our pregnancy and our child that was growing inside of me. So that was really cool. All right, so week 11. Week 11 was when I purchased my first set of maternity wear. So everybody's body is different. You know, some people purchase maternity clothing earlier, some people purchase it a little bit later. Me, I needed it a little bit earlier because as I was telling you guys, in week 4, I was already feeling that pressure on my stomach. So I couldn't continue any longer with wearing like regular jeans. It was still irritating for me to be wearing jeans that were unzipping. So I really just needed something that was much more comfortable. And during this time, it was getting hotter. So I couldn't keep wearing jeans to work or just jeans out. I needed some everyday pants and stuff. So I went out and I got me some Bermuda shorts. So I got me 2 pairs of Bermuda shorts, and those are the ones that have like the belly band that comes like all the way up here. And then I got 1 pair of regular shorts, and the shorts don't have the belly band. They just have like the elastic bands on the side, and they made a world of difference. I should have gotten them sooner. When I tried them on, and I got them from Target, by the way, Target's little maternity line. When I tried them on, it was just like instant relief and instant comfort. It felt so good. So I would definitely recommend maternity wear, even if you don't have a belly, because it's not so much about having the baby bump. It's more so about being comfortable, and I can grow into those pants and stuff as my bump continues to grow. So week 12, and I put in my notes again, nausea subsided. So week 12 again is when my morning sickness started to get a little bit better, which was amazing. And my doctor had told me that if I had morning sickness, then it would be gone by the end of the first trimester. So week 12, I'm approaching the end of my first trimester, and the nausea and the vomiting started to slow down a bit. I noticed that like when I woke up in the morning, the nausea wasn't as prevalent as it was at the beginning of my pregnancy. So that was just amazing. But one of the most exciting things about week 12 was our ultrasound. So we went and this would have been our second ultrasound. The first one was more just like confirmation of pregnancy, making sure they see a heartbeat and stuff like that. And during that time, that was around, I want to say 6 or 8 weeks. And the baby was just a blob, like no head, no limbs, no stomach, no like definitive features. So when we went for our ultrasound for week 12, and our baby had a head, a neck, limbs, fingers, toes. The baby was like moving around as she was doing the ultrasound. That was so incredible, and it was such an amazing experience to like witness. So, and I remember Henry, he was sitting there, he was like, "You can't feel that?" I'm like, "No, I can't feel it. The baby is too small." But the baby was like moving around, and one time the baby had his hand on his head like this. It was so cute. And I was just like, I was telling Henry, I was like, this baby must be a girl, because like, what baby is gonna go like this? Like that, it just seemed like the baby was like stressed or something like that. I don't know. But it was just so cute to see in a matter of weeks how the baby developed from just like that blob of nothing to a real like baby. It was just very fascinating, and that was one of the times I feel like that we were just, I don't know, we were just so excited and so ecstatic about what was to come forward. So week 12 was also the time that we got the testing for Down syndrome and all those chromosomal defects and stuff like that. So our baby did come back healthy. We got those results, so we're really excited about that. We still don't know the gender yet. That test did reveal the gender to us, but we opted not to view it because we are going to have a gender reveal. So last week of the first trimester, week 13. At this point, I could really say that the nausea, that the morning sickness, and just all the vomiting and stuff like that really subsided at this point, which was just tremendous. I'm just like starting to feel like myself a bit more. I'm starting to have a little bit more energy, still taking naps and stuff like that, but I'm not just like dragging on like I was in that first trimester. So I'm just so thankful for that. But one really big thing that happened in week 13 was the prenatal. So I stopped taking my prenatal vitamins, not necessarily by choice. So even though like my nausea and stuff subsided, those prenatal pills, or at least the ones I have, the Nature Made ones, they're pretty big and they smell like fish. I guess because of the DHA or the omega 3s or whatever the fish supplement is, they smell like stinky fish. So like I said, even though I don't have morning sickness, some smells do still trigger nausea for me. So it's hard to take those pills down. So I would say for about like 3 to 5 days, it was hard for me to get the pill down and swallow it. Like I would literally gag and it would come right back up. So it's like the smell in combination with the size, it just wasn't working out for me. So I talked to my doctor about it, and she has me on the Flintstones multivitamins with iron. So I'm going to be taking those for a few weeks, just until that nausea like really subsides, and then we're going to try the prenatals again. So all of my mommies out there, if you have any recommendations for prenatal pills, I was actually just in Target today looking at different prenatal pills to see which ones I could take, and I couldn't find one. So if you have any recommendations for a pill that is a little bit smaller, that doesn't have an odor, is something that has all the vitamins and nutrients that I need, leave your recommendations down below. I'm not able to take any gummy multivitamins because the gummy vitamins don't have iron. You need iron and you need DHA. So when you're looking for those two specific vitamins amongst all the other vitamins, none of them check out. So chewable would have been easier, but it didn't work out. So yeah, I'm just going to stick with the Flintstones multivitamins until I can start swallowing my prenatals again, and hopefully that's really soon. All right guys, so that wraps up my first trimester updates. I hope that you really enjoyed this video just as much as I did, and I'm so excited for you guys to continue on with this journey with us with baby Hunt, and you can just see our progress and just watch all of our developmental like milestones from here all the way up until we give birth. It's just going to be a really exciting time. So before we get out of here, I'm going to give you guys a quick bump date, but just keep in mind that I am 15 weeks today. So you know, my stomach is going to be a little bit bigger than it would have been at 13 weeks or 14 weeks when I tried to film this. So this is not like the best dress, but here is little baby from the front, and then sorry, it's just so much material. Here's little baby from the side, as you can see, and then from the other side. So yeah, it's definitely a bump there, and I'm definitely getting like bigger every single day. So that wraps up this video. Make sure you guys stay tuned because we are going to film our pregnancy Q&A, answering like all of you guys' burning questions that you have for us once we announce our pregnancy. So we are going to film that. So that'll be up shortly. Also, our gender reveal is next week. So we'll be finding out what little baby is going to be. So make sure you put all your predictions down in the comments below. So yeah, I am getting out of here, guys. I will see you in our next video. Peace.